All right. Good morning. It's September 24th. I'm in jail cell C here. Actually, I got bricks behind me. I'm at the Vincue conference in Kansas City. Kyle's holding down the fort. We got things to talk about.
Everywhere I go,
things to talk about.
Really want to know who I is
CEO
and
for
who I be. They
Stellantis,
stop and
maybe.
stare when they see me. If
Maybe.
it's
AI all up
repeat,
in your
run up on me,
workspace.
watch fall to your knees.
All
No,
up
just-
in your workspace.
Just a Tuesday. Just a Tuesday.
Just a Tuesday. We talk about China, Stellantis, and Gemini. You know,
I was just talking. So I'm here in Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas. If you're a Chiefs fan, this is you know where this is well. And I'm at the Vincue Unleashed event, and Vincue's doing a great job with the event. Let me just say that. Danny,
awesome.
Angela, the team, Michael Hopkins, they just have done a great job. Really just embracing the hospitality mindset. So whenever somebody does that well, you know you're going to get kudos and props from us and snaps. I was just talking with a dealer. His name's Rudy's director of Toyota of Berkeley up there in California. And he was just talking about how you have to get the heart of the person if you want to keep them working at your store for a long time. And found out no surprise that he looks up to people like Patrick Abad for some inspiration and the crew.
Naturally.
Right. So
yes.
so it's awesome.
Cool.
You know, when you find the others, when you have people that are thinking in those ways, you go to places where they congregate and you realize you're like, these are my people. So I'm already feeling good this morning.
You know what's interesting? Like I had a similar conversation in a completely adjacent vertical, but yesterday we're prepping for ASOTU Con, right? Already we're months out. If you don't know, ASOTU Con May of next year, you can go to the website, be one of the first to know when we drop all the news. But we were talking to actually a coffee provider because we just want to step up that part of our hospitality. And it was so cool because they said, tell us a bit more about you, because we really only do events with people that believe the things that we believe about hospitality and care for community and all that type of stuff. So like the middle of that conversation got real theoretical and theological and all that type of stuff. It was really, really cool. So yeah.
You never told me this. Oh, I'm so in. When someone asks you that question, it's like a dividing line. When you get that question, you're either like, maybe this isn't going to work out, or you're like, we have to do something together.
Exactly.
Well, that's great.
Exactly.
So we're going to have upscaled coffee at ASOTU Con this year. I'm excited
That's
about
the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. Week after Mother's Day. If you want to open your calendar right now, if you have an old paper calendar and just circle the week after Mother's Day, it's going to be in there the middle days, right? Not going to mess up your sales flow. Not going to mess up any of that. You can go. So go to ASOTUCon.com, sign up for that. We have a webinar tomorrow. It's an ASOTU Edge webinar. These are our quick shot 20, 30 minute where Kyle and I moderate. We ask questions, we take questions from the audience. We have a lot of fun. We're talking about how unresolved complaints could turn into compliance nightmares. It's not something that you want to happen with our friends at DealerResolve. And these things might be happening and you don't know about it. And I'm telling you what, if there's anyone that can make compliance fun, it's going to be the four of us. I'm just saying.
That's right. That's right.
All right,
hey,
let's get into some
things happening that you may not know about. Little segue into the first story, you know.
The U.S. Commerce Department is considering a new rule that could block automakers like GM and Ford from importing vehicles from China. The move is part of a broader effort to curb the use of Chinese technology, particularly software and hardware, due to national security concerns. Basically, GM's Buick, Envision, and Ford's Lincoln Nautilus, both assembled in China, well, I didn't know that, would be directly impacted, and the rule could also affect other automakers who are doing the same kind of thing, including Volvo and BYD. BYD, no surprise. GM sold about 22,000 Envisions. Ford sold 17,500 Nautilus in the U.S. during the first half of 2024. And basically, automakers would need to move production outside of China or apply for specific authorizations, continue selling those models. Liz Cannon from the Commerce Department said, quote, any vehicle manufactured in China and sold in the U.S. would all fall within the prohibitions. Oh, prohibitions.
There you go. To which GM said, ha, that's why we were getting rid of Apple CarPlay in the beginning anyway. Got him.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is obviously a broader play. This is particularly about the automaker impact, but this could be like a crazy impact. And I just, you know, it's something to be aware of, especially if you are a GM or Ford or Lincoln store, but not crazy because things like software and hardware created in China. Hello, Apple iPhone. Hello, Nvidia chips that power like pretty much all of the US ecosystem, data ecosystem. So still a really like early development. But it does beg the question, like, what does the automotive landscape over the next 5 to 7 years, as question marks continue to arise on importing anything, right? We've already seen things like tax incentives for batteries produced on US soil. Now you see like hardware and software getting challenged. I don't think this is the end of the road for what gets challenged from the things that we're importing and how that impacts pricing, how it impacts competitive matrix. It's just something I think to be aware of, especially if you're a growing auto group, to have diversification within the OEMs that you're supporting.
There you go.
Just so that you are not, so if you are growing, thinking about diversifying your portfolio of OEMs is extremely important, I think.
Yeah, and that's going to continue to be that way. It's interesting that it's two different areas. Like one is materials and focused on economic impact. The other one is security and focused on national security impact. Just, I've heard some conversations. This was going on the last 90 days about like, hey, do you know, like we have these giant computers that can start and can drive and are heavy and can move into things and coordinate and all these things. You start to think about that where you're like, I don't really want to think about that too much.
Don't need to think about it.
No, I know, but whatever it is, right? Auto dealers, we're always going to adapt, and whatever the rule is that comes down the pike, we always find a way. Speaking of finding a way, there you go. Stellantis announced it's begun the search for a successor to CEO Carlos Tavares. That's going to be met with some, I don't know which button to push for that one, because we'll get in trouble no matter what button we push. With his contract expiring in January 2026, while Tavares has led the company since 2021 and made it highly profitable, recent issues in North America specifically are driving the company to refocus. It's kind of a routine CEO search, but the company is facing pressure due to the declining American sales and profits. There, we got a great meme up there. This is fine.
Great meme. Great meme.
So basically, they are, in response to the drop in sales and profits, they're slashing vehicle inventories by 100,000 units by early 2025 and has already reduced it by 40,000 vehicles. CFO Natalie Knight said inventory and pricing discipline are key strategies to weather the EV transition, with some models like the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Compass seeing big price cuts. Tavares did implement aggressive cost-cutting measures, including a lot of job cuts, which we've talked about, and a plan to source 80% of its parts from low-cost countries by 2028. This is a quote from the CFO, Ms. Knight. She says, we're living in a very difficult times where there are going to be winners and losers, and a lot about being the winner is being the last man standing. Oh, there's
all right. So
this one.
Here's the producer's note. I got to call this out because I want to, like, this is legit from your boy Paul sitting right next to me.
Oh, I said this.
Last August on the Wheelhouse, hosted by Daniel Gover, there was a question, is an off-the-wall question, which of the big three CEOs would be the first to not be a CEO of their company anymore? And you, sir, confidently just said, Carlos, like you knew, It was a guy.
Boy Los.
Yeah.
That's great. Great job, producers note, for remembering that.
Epic producer note. So here's the thing. I think if you're a Stellantis dealer, you've known and been hoping that this is coming. There's obviously been bumpy road, high inventory supply. It's no wonder they're trying to cut 100,000 units from the in-stock inventory. We're seeing that in price cuts, in hefty rebates, hefty dealer incentive programs, trying to move this inventory that is extremely aged compared to some of their competitors. And a lot of people are pointing to the leadership's lack of leadership in allowing that to get out of control post-COVID times and post-inventory stringent times. So, I'm not enough of a pundit to kind of call who they may or may not be looking at, but it's clear that there's a disconnect between the dealer and the OEM, and I would be remiss if I didn't say look for someone that the dealers love, because that's probably going to be the best place to go.
Gosh, it'd be amazing. Can you imagine? It's a great setup for a comeback.
Yeah.
Great setup for a comeback.
And we love a good comeback. You know,
We sure
love
do. We sure do. I wish I had a segue for this one going to the next story, but I don't.
Stop it. So Google is making its Gemini AI. If you're in Google Workplace, you know that you get basically pinged every 37 minutes wondering
Can
if
I
you
help?
want to upgrade.
Can I help? Can I help? Can I help?
It will instead, in business ecosystems, move from being a paid tier upgrade to being a central part of its Workspace productivity suite, a move that can significantly boost the chatbot's user base across various industries. It'll now be included in as early as Q4 in Workspace Business, Enterprise, and Frontline plans, eliminating the need for the separate add-on. Google assures that Gemini won't organizational data to train its AI model and complies with enterprise grades privacy standards like SOC 1, 2, and 3 and ISO 27701. So they're going to keep it tight. The storage and generated responses and user prompts will be able to be administered by the Workspace administrators. And then Google's also introducing the security advisor tool to help IT administrators protect against malware and phishing within Gmail, Chrome, and Google Drive. So some security updates alongside the AI introduction across the board. I'm excited to try it out because I can't think about the additional $30 per user, but hey, if it's going to be baked in to the platform,
right,
use it up,
It's a smart play to grow the user base and just continue to train these bots. I wonder what that is going to be like, with when you have ChatGPT and you have, like a business account, it doesn't use what you're typing to train its models. So Google's obviously going to have to pay a lot of attention to that. I think this is just more of the steps into integrating AI with regular parts of people's lives in automotive. We're seeing this more and more as industry partners are starting to implement these tools and integrate them with what they're doing. And so things are moving so fast, it's hard to keep up with what the change actually is. But however, I think just looking back, if we were able to take a snapshot back 6 months at a time, and now that 6 months is going to be a massive difference in use in AI. And it's going to it is already hitting automotive, but it's going to, like, the next 12 months, we're just going to see these tools everywhere and become a normal part of life. I'm on did you get the Apple Intelligence beta?
No, I don't have the 15. So my new phone's coming. So I'll see it here soon, I'm sure. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's like the beta has a few features, but you can also it's got like some like photo things, but I think one of the smartest things that it has, and it's just a tiny little bit, is just its ability to summarize notifications across the board. It just smartly takes, and usually when you have a page full of this, and used car managers, inventory managers know what that's like, right? You have all these things going on. You have things going on in your BDC. The smart ability to summarize is cooler than I thought it would be for my notifications. And so I'm just going to put that there. I've only had it on for like 2 days. So regardless, go ahead.
I think either way, like the integration of this into all of life and into the ecosystems, especially in business, just requires that you be a student of it. That requires that you understand
through and through.
If you've just said, it's not for me, it's not for me to understand, and you're in business, that's a lie you're telling yourself. And whether or not you use the heck out of it, you should understand its capabilities, why or why not it does certain things, how to interact with it when it does come up. Like the study of the art of use of AI is important for all business operators, from a frontline employee to an executive. Every single person should at minimum be aware of its capabilities.
Roll the music. We can't add anything like that. It sounds a lot more like dealers doing the same things they do, which is pay attention to what's going on and try things, fail, try, succeed. Care about the people. You're going to be just fine. We'll see you tomorrow.